York who would send me images of sarcophaguses that were up for auction. Finally, this one came. It was so worth the wait. We call her Liza, after Liza Minnelli.
Howdy y'all, I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you guys are safe and I hope you guys are healthy. My name is Josh and I absolutely love clothing, personal style, and fashion. So if you're into that type of content, feel free to subscribe to me here on YouTube as well as follow me on Instagram at @wears_Galdo. So today I'm bringing you guys a video about a pair of shoes that I just picked up that released on Adidas not too long ago, and it's a pair that I've had in the past, but I'm actually really happy to have in my collection again, but is also quite a bit of a conversation starter. I actually bought the Yeezy 950 Duck Boot yet again. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and go over the packaging. This is the box it came in for this release. So they released on Adidas Confirmed, and I was able to very easily just enter the draw and check out super fast. They retailed for $600. I don't remember if retail back in like 2015 was that exact thing. I think it was, but I'm not 100% sure. But they come in completely different boxes. This one is more in line with the Yeezys that you see today. Just regular cardboard boxes. They got the size tag right over here if you want to use that for reference. And then on the other side is also Yeezy 950 made by Adidas. So if you don't know, Yeezy and Adidas have parted ways. Yeezy is no longer going to be producing, Adidas is no longer going to be producing shoes for Kanye West, and that happened I think last year if I'm not mistaken, but they wanted to sell through the inventory they already had so they wouldn't lose out on that much money since they've had so many produced already. I was super curious to see if these kind of remakes of shoes that have come out in the past are that much different than the shoes that we're going to be getting as re-releases as well as like future releases. Now, like I said previous, I've had these shoes in the past but sold it to Kenneth Wynn, and actually after selling them I missed them quite a bit, so I'm happy to be able to have an opportunity to get them back for retail. Comparatively to 2015, there is definitely a whole lot that has happened with Kanye West himself, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about that later on in the video. But first things first, we got in the bag some extra laces. These are kind of really thick rope laces with pretty sturdy aglets on the bottom here. The shoes themselves, here they are. I am actually really impressed. So they look very, very similar, almost uncanny, to the original versions. I know Justin from Drip Tea Market has had both pairs, and he could probably tell you more about the differences, but I'm actually super impressed. This is exactly what I remember them to be, and I love them just as much now. These are some of the most rugged and well-built boots that I've ever had, and for a $600 price point, I would hope so. Going from the top down, we have a Cordura fabric that is waterproof, which is super great. As you can see from the top, this tongue is actually fully gusseted, so water does not get into the boot from the like open parts of the side of the tongue here. We got Yeezy branding at the top of the tongue. Around the eyelets of the actual boot is going to be like a suede strip, which is super interesting. And then from this point down the shoe is going to be completely rubber, which actually adds to the waterproof nature of this boot. And then on the bottom you see more branding as well as pretty thick treads that is super great for traction in the winter time. And if your pair will be brand new, it will have these tags with it. Nothing special, nothing too out of the ordinary. The originals came in a better box, I would say. The originals had this very thick gray box that I would have preferred, but obviously Adidas isn't going to want to pour more money into packaging a shoe that they kind of just want to get rid of. Now, I'm not 100% certain if Kanye West gets any of this money, since the deal with Kanye West has since ended. And if you guys have better insight into whether or not he gets any of that money, I would really love to know, so throw that in the comments down below or DM it to me. But all in all, like I said, one of the best like bad weather boots I've ever owned, and I'm actually really excited to have them back in my collection. Now, to speak to the design of the boot itself, I would say it is pretty directly inspired by the American Duck boot, which is a boot that came out in the early 1900s. I think it is 1911 in which the Duck boot came out, and that boot was primarily emphasizing the waterproof function of that boot, and this emulates that like really well. A very clever kind of bit of design to this boot is that on the toe you're gonna have these three like lines here that are in the rubber. Well, that is a nod to the duck boot itself, because duck boots are known for having that detail to it, but at the same time that is subtle Adidas branding with its three stripes on the toe. On the back of the shoe we have this pull tab, very large pull tab back here, so there is a red line that goes through it. To me, that's reminiscent of like selvage denim or red line selvage denim. I'm not 100% sure if that is kind of the main design cue, but really like that detail as well. Little tiny pop of subtle color. The insole is removable, and we have Yeezy Adidas branding on the heel, as well as this, I would say, very thin leather-like material on top, and then on bottom is this kind of like gel orange insole. I have no idea if this is the original insole as well. I don't remember ever taking out the insole on my original pair, so I can't tell if this is different from the first release, but definitely a really nice touch. And these boots are actually pretty significantly comfortable. Absolutely amazing, and seriously a great buy in regard to boots, because these things are tanks. They will last absolutely forever, and there's really no upkeep that you really have to keep up with them. That sounded like a really runaround sentence, but very minimal upkeep and very cool looking boot. Oftentimes, because I'm a little lazy, I go ahead and just wear them with the laces unlaced, just like this. But if you wanted to be more secure, the laces are long enough for you to actually pull them real tight, thread them through the pull tab right over here, and have a very secure boot on your feet. Now, with all the good things that I've said about this boot, I definitely think there is one pretty major con, and it's that since this boot is kind of made for bad weather and the upper is kind of half rubber, it's not a very breathable shoe at all. So if you're going to be trying to wear this in hotter climates, like I live here in Las Vegas, there is absolutely no way, and your feet are going to be super sweaty. So for me, this is going to be kind of specifically allocated to the colder months, but that is not a problem. Here comes more so like kind of the conversation part of this video, and that's going to be, I bought Yeezys in 2023. As a lot of you guys know, Kanye West has really had a rough time, and it's really becoming increasingly more difficult to be able to, I guess, align with his ideologies. I want to make it very clear that I don't support anything that Kanye West says at the moment. He's definitely gone down quite a downward spiral in regard to his own, I guess, public image. But these boots do bring up the topic of is it right to separate art from artist? I definitely think it's healthy to separate art from artist on a case-by-case basis. I want to make it very clear, I don't agree with really anything Kanye West has said in the past handful of years. Honestly, what he has said and done has completely ruined his reputation with Adidas, and I'd be surprised if many other companies would be willing to work with him due to the volatile nature of him as a person. But despite his kind of public standing right now, Kanye West has been absolutely the huge influence in both music as well as fashion, and introducing street style and streetwear into the luxury space. And I do think that definitely merits some sort of appreciation. And I know there's a lot of people that still really like Kanye West, and I would say that it's up to you to consume what you want to consume. I definitely chose to obviously purchase these at retail, but again, I'm not 100% sure on the stipulations of their deal or the breaking off of their deal, so I have no idea if this purchase, any of that money goes to Kanye West at all. I am super curious to see if you guys are able to separate art from artist and purchase things simply because you like them, despite whatever connotations might come along with it. I bought this boot simply because I missed that boot that I had in the past, and now that I have it back, I'm actually really excited to get some use out of them once it gets a little bit colder out here in Las Vegas. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I think it's a super interesting, I guess, ethical dilemma that a lot of Kanye West products bring up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate your guys' time. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next video. Later.